kicking and screaming. Now, you can tell it's a little bit different. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but that is not Bianca. I know a lot of people are questioning, is that or is that not Bianca? That's not Bianca. She's on an assignment. She's doing a special report for a Good Day New York. Okay? It's special, so I can't tell you. It's top secret. You know, it's a big 4-part series. It's top secret. All I can say is she's out there, and she's working, and she'll be back soon. She'll be back here next week, so it's up to me. So there'll be not as much kicking. They'll still be screaming, because that's what I'm here for if I don't scream. So,
yeah,
no. So this is my good friend, Alex Day. Okay, Alex,
hello.
Content guy. Alex, tell our audience who may not know you.
Yeah.
I think everyone does. Tell them what you do.
Lou, thank you for having me on. I am not Bianca, but I appreciate sitting in for her today. I cover New York sports. I cover the Yankees closely, the Giants, Rangers, and Knicks. I'll talk about the Jets and Mets as well. I cover all New York sports. I'm from New York. I live it. I breathe it. I live and die with it, honestly, as many New York sports fans do. I'll interview a lot of our favorite athletes in New York, outside New York, and lucky enough to once in a while come in and talk sports with Lou here. Yeah.
Hey, listen, let's give me some of the name athletes that you talk to.
Yeah.
People know.
Aaron Judge, Jalen Brunson, Josh Allen, Puka Nacua, Josh Hart, Justin Jefferson.
See? All the big names, guys.
Yeah, all the big names.
We're not talking the minor leaguers here. We're talking big names, so the guy knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely.
He has a great following on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whether it's interviews or just daily New York sports coverage, have really built up a nice community over there.
Well, as for community, one of those communities you are a Giant fan. He admits to being a Giant fan, and that's good because being a Giant fan today is good. I, on the other hand, I'm a Jet fan, and this has been it's going to be a rough 2 weeks. Now, I'm wearing red.
It's always a rough 2 weeks. What are you talking about? It's going to be a rough 2 weeks.
This is even worse because we have to sit through and hear how Sam Darnold has become the great quarterback of the NFL and how he is a special quarterback and everything he's done. Why? Because he left the Jets. Let's not kid ourselves. That's the reality.
Yeah.
And then you have the other side, the hated Patriots. Mike Rabel just talked to him. Mike said, "Are you kidding me? I'm going up to New England." Wait a minute. New England had a worse record than we did. We're right there with us. No, but I could fix them easier than I could fix you. And he did.
If I'm a Jets fan, it's obvious who I'm rooting for in the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
I'm rooting for Seattle.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Because it's not Sam Darnold's fault it didn't work with the Jets. It's Adam Gase's fault. And Sam Darnold went from Adam Gase to Carolina to dodo coaches. You go from Adam Gase to Matt Rule. And look, then he went to San Francisco with Shanahan. He went to Minnesota. Those are two coaches who are great with quarterbacks. He turned it around, and I'm happy for him. Of course, Sam Darnold worked hard and wanted it to work out. There's a reason the Jets haven't produced a franchise quarterback for a long time. I don't think you could hold it against the quarterback for it not working out. You could look at the organization more.
It's always the organization, and it's coaching.
Yeah.
The difference with Sam is Sam left. He went to Carolina, like you said.
Yep.
Matt Rule didn't know what he was doing.
Nope.
He went to San Francisco, and he sat on the bench. And he wasn't going to play. Barring a major injury, he was like third string, truthfully, out there. But Kyle Shanahan saw something, worked with him, developed him. He learned more on the sideline in San Francisco than he did for the 3 years in New York and the 2 years in Carolina. And with that, he goes to Minnesota because they have Brock Purdy, and he becomes a winning quarterback. I think his record now since leaving the Jets is something like 29 and
good for him.
27.
Good for him.
It would take like that. Now, Minnesota, that was a mistake.
I think this week is worse for Minnesota fans and Jets fans because they knew what they had.
And they also had Daniel Jones.
And they had Daniel Jones, and it hasn't worked out with J.J. McCarthy.
No, J.J. McCarthy, but that's a typical case. Some general manager picked the number one, and he's got to prove he's right.
Yep.
Everyone else is wrong. Well, guess what? You're wrong.
Yep.
J.J., I thought Michigan was not a NFL quarterback, to be fair. Is that a nice way to put it?
I agree with you.
He's not Zach Wilson, who's garbage.
There's a reason Jim Harbaugh didn't have him do that much in Michigan.
And he won a championship. I understand that. He's not Zach Wilson when he came and replaced Sam. He's like, are you kidding me? He's not as bad as that, but he has a long way to go. And you had a guy that proved himself last year, struggled in the postseason, but that was his first taste of it. And now you notice everyone said, well, Sam can't win the big game. Well, guess what? He's proven he can win some big games.
Definitely. And when you look at San Francisco, Minnesota, and Seattle, those are like progression offenses where you go through your reads. You learn how to be a professional quarterback. When Sam Darnold was drafted by the Jets, Adam Gase wanted to install this super special offense that only Peyton Manning can run,
Right.
and you're going to overwhelm a young quarterback, and you're not going to put the pieces around. Stupid. It was stupid. So Sam Darnold learned how to be a professional quarterback. He played with some good offensive lines in Minnesota, now a great one in Seattle, and I'm happy for him because Seattle has built a culture in a really short amount of time that has not only helped put Darnold in the best position to win, but given him a good offensive line, good balance between offense and defense where you don't always feel like you need to be putting on your cape and playing Superman. He has a wide receiver one in Jackson Smith and Njigba. He's had a running game. This is a great position for a quarterback to succeed, one that he never had early in his career.
Well, he's got a new coach, Mike McDonald, who was the defensive coordinator with the Baltimore Ravens. So it's not a coincidence that the Sean McVays, Kyle Shanahan's, the Mike McDonald's, I'm talking even the one Kevin O'Connell,
absolutely,
up in
Minnesota,
all young assistants who learned under big time coaches, and then moved on and been very successful. So, and then you knew that when it comes to McDonald, he learned a lot from John Harbaugh. Being a Giant fan, that's a sign that shows you how important a guy like John Harbaugh is. How excited were you when they announced that?
I mean, I think it's a bigger move than anything else that could happen in the draft or in free agency. The Giants have craved stability, right? The Giants have not been the Giants that we grew up loving, and you go from Parcells and then a couple years, and then Coughlin, and you have the stability where there isn't a lot of turnover. And now you look at, this will be, I believe, the 5th or 6th coach since Coughlin, maybe the 5th, not including, Spagnuolo and holdovers. This is stability. This is stability. And I like that it took an extra couple days for Harbaugh to say, no, we're going to do it this way.
Right. And that was
this is how we're going to do it from now on. This is how we're going to scout. This is who I'm going to report to. These are the coordinators I'm going to bring in. This is how much money we're going to allocate for inside the building, for coaches. We're now going to do it this way. Baltimore hasn't won in a long time. I think a lot of that has been unlucky. You look at Mark Andrews' drop pass. You look at the missed field goal with Loop this year. Every year they're in contention.
Always in contention. That's
always in contention, and the Giants need that. Even forget ceiling for a second. They need to raise the floor, and I think Harbaugh does that immediately.
And a lot of that has to do with Lamar.
Definitely.
I'm not sure if Lamar's a winning quarterback. I have some doubts on that. Okay, I don't know if you can get by. He's still a run-first quarterback. I know he improved his passing. I know he won an MVP, but he's still one of those guys, when push comes to shove, do you feel confident that he's going to take you to that next level? I don't. And I think in Jackson Dart, he's got a guy who he feels confident that he can take to the next level, that he knows how to play football. You just saw this year when he was on the field, yes, he's got to stop leading with his head. I understand all that, but his whole game is about winning. It's not about him. It's about winning. Lamar was about him, running, yards. When Lamar turned around and said, I'm a little hurt during his contract negotiations and didn't want to play, that told you what a player Lamar Jackson is. Jackson Dart would never do that.
I totally agree with you about Dart. I would like to give more credit to Lamar because I think a lot of times we can ding players just because there's someone who's better than them. Phillip Rivers, if he didn't have to go through Tom Brady every year in the AFC, he probably would have gotten a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have really clouded legacies for a lot of these great AFC quarterbacks. And maybe you're great, maybe you just can't get through Patrick Mahomes, and they've had a lot of weird plays. I completely agree with you on Dart. When you talk about a guy who can clearly do it with his legs, he's shown that he can certainly do it from the pocket.
Yes, he can.
He has that innate ability to keep a play alive, go the extra yard. I'm concerned about him staying healthy, but I think if you're a coach and you're looking at what job to take, I don't blame Todd Monken for taking that head coaching job with Cleveland. You're in your 60s. You got one shot at being a head coach. There's only 32 of those jobs.
You have to take it.
You have to take it. It must have been a pretty close decision for him to become the OC with Harbaugh and Jackson Dart.
You got to take the head coach.
You have to take it.
Even if it is Cleveland and coaches going to die in Cleveland, I fully understand that, but you got to take it.
You have to take it.
That's probably your last chance. At his age,
100%.
That's your last chance.
100%. So that's going to be, it's a pretty coveted job, and we've heard a couple names be thrown out for the OC, but you're talking about a coach who doesn't call his own plays, he relies heavily on coordinators.
Very much.
It's going to be a really important decision who he chooses to have as OC and help bring Dart along into his sophomore year.
Well, there's a lot of talk of one of the guys who came up, which is fascinating, is Charlie Weiss's kid.
Yeah, I saw that.
And what's his first name?
Is
his first name.
Is it Charlie Weiss Jr.?
Oh, Charlie Weiss.
It might be. Yeah.
Anyhow, he had him at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And he was his offensive coordinator at Ole Miss. As we all know the story, Lane Kiffin, he went to LSU. Charlie Weiss stayed with Ole Miss, even though he's also going to LSU. He's worked with the quarterbacks. He worked very well with Chambliss this year. But there's a lot of talk of him coming here. And that would be a great move because he knows Jackson Dart. He knows how to develop Jackson. He comes from a great coaching background, let's face it. His father was a great offensive coordinator. Not as much in Notre Dame, but he made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that would be a perfect fit because he knows how to turn around and work with Dart because he already knows so much about him, and that will help.
I would be happy with that choice. I've heard the name T. Martin, the quarterback coach for Baltimore, be thrown around, and he's really helped Lamar over the last 2 years as a pocket passer and protect himself. I've also heard the name Davis Webb, which would be interesting. Our old friend Davis Webb. Yeah. I can't believe he's
the problem is
risen as fast as he has.
He's in Denver,
right?
And he doesn't call plays, and that's the problem. All right, let's go to break.
Yeah,
and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about our friends, the Yankees and Mets.
Would love to,
and maybe a little Knicks in that mix. We'll be right back. We're back. Okay, we have comments coming in from YouTube.
Yeah, I see a bunch.
You spoke about what you thought of John Harbaugh. Magooch616 asked me what I think of the new coach. I think he's fantastic, and I use one word for him: credibility. He brings credibility to that locker room because we all know that it's a child's play. We saw some of these young guys out of control. All of that is going to stop with John Harbaugh. It's going to stop.
I was talking to Chris Wormley. He's a defensive tackle. He played for Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. He played in Baltimore with John Harbaugh. And I said, what can these Giants expect with having John Harbaugh as a coach? And he said, expect to play more football than you've ever played before. More reps, harder reps. He weeds out how bad you want it. And if you don't want it as bad as he thinks you should want it,
you get weeded out.
You get kicked out. I think having a player's coach, it could be a good thing until it's not, right? I often think hiring a coach is often like dating. You have a significant other who's one way and she's too much like this, and then you go the whole opposite direction. You pick someone who's totally opposite. Brian Daboll, player's coach. John Harbaugh, he's going to demand accountability. We saw it with Tom Coughlin going to Ben McAdoo, who's way more straight edge than way more of a culture guy, and Joe Judge. And you see the flip-flop. Well, we can't have a guy like this. We go this way. John Harbaugh will demand that accountability, and he brings credibility, just like you said.
Credibility is the most important.
Yes.
All right, let's change gears. Let's talk Knicks.
Yes.
All right. Giannis, I'm not even going to try to tempt his name.
Antetokounmpo. Yeah.
I can barely say the word Smith.
How about Greek Freak?
I always go by Greek Freak.
Yeah.
He is the Greek Freak.
Mr. Freak.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's available. He wants out. He wants to come to the Knicks. But my concern is, do the Knicks have what it takes to get him? What do you think?
I think there's only one way that the Knicks get Giannis. It's if Giannis says, I want to get traded, and I want to get traded to the Knicks. That's the only way that it's happening because the Knicks don't have the best package.
No.
Golden State can offer more. Miami can offer more. Houston can offer more. Oklahoma City can offer more. San Antonio can offer more. So when Leon Rose traded 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, there goes your future moves. If you're Milwaukee and you need a rebuild, why would you want a player in his prime like Karl Anthony Towns? You want to rebuild. So a third team would have to get involved, be trading picks. I'm also not in favor of trading Towns unless it's for Giannis. You have a Knicks team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Cat had a great year. He played pretty well with Brunson. Not amazing, but pretty well with Brunson. You bring in a new coach. It's dissolved in the last couple months. This is a Mike Brown problem more than a Towns problem. So I would like them to trade for Giannis. I would trade Cat for Giannis. If you can't get Giannis, I'm not trading Cat. And it just needs to be emphasized again that if the Knicks didn't trade 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges and then extended him, they would have a chance at Giannis. They're kind of backed in a corner here. They don't have much flexibility.
Well, 2 things with that. If people don't know, in the NBA, there's called the Ted Stepien rule. I don't know if you remember. Ted Stepien was an old Cleveland Cavaliers owner from back in the 80s, I believe it was. And he traded all his draft picks, all his number ones, for guys who were like stiffs. And the league finally said, all right, enough. We're not going to allow you to trade. You have to have a draft pick every 2 years. You got to have one. You cannot trade back to back to back to back. So the Knicks traded everything on the odd year, first-round picks to the Nets. So they don't have a situation. Now, come the offseason, they'll be able to trade 2. Right now, they can trade 1. There's a lot of limitations on that. And 2, one of the things I heard, is just rumors that floating around, that after Karl Anthony Towns heard over the summer his name come up for a trade for the Greek Freak, he's been sulking, and that's one of the reasons he's not the player he was a year ago. How true or false it is, I don't know, but the whispers always come out, and that's one of them.
Yeah, who knows if it's true or not, but I also think a lot of this falls on Mike Brown because he's right now falling into a similar offensive pattern as Tibbs, where the Knicks had a good offense last year. Now you could say it was too simple, it's too much ISO with Brunson.
Too much ISO.
There's also a case to be made that offense looked pretty good, right? It brought you to the Eastern Conference Finals. They've lost their defensive identity. I can't help, and I was not in favor of firing Tibbs. I can't help but feel like if the Knicks told Tibbs, if you don't have a 9-man rotation, you're being like, I would have made it that straightforward. If you don't have a 9-man rotation, you're getting fired. Because if you look at what the Knicks did last year, it got you to the Eastern Conference Finals in their first year with that core being together. It's on Mike Brown to get this to work.
You know what? It's January. I think it's going to work.
I do too.
I do. I think it's going to work. You don't win championships in January.
Correct.
You win championships early in the season because you build up your wins. Okay, the Knicks built up the wins. Now you have them in the bank. So now, halfway through, you kind of it's a long season, so you can lose here and here, and everybody gets panicky. All the Knicks fans are jumping off the bridge. Relax. It is come time now. If they're still playing this way come end of March into April, that's when you have to worry about it. And now the team has won 4 straight since that Dallas fiasco.
It was a great Knicks win last night on the second end of a back-to-back in Toronto.
Yes.
Had an amazing second half. Mikal Bridges had a good second half, played with energy. Defense looked great. They scored half their points in the paint, shot the 3-ball well. That was something I was skeptical of when they hired Mike Brown. Hey, do the Knicks have the 3-point shooters to be trucking up 40 to 53s like he wants them to in this modern NBA, which I'm not in favor of, but that's
how the game is played. That's the NBA. Whether you like it or not, that's the game.
Right. So the 3-point shooting is coming along like it did yesterday. I think they're starting to get their mojo back. I'm with you. I'm not trying to hit the panic button either. I, at times, have questioned the energy and the cohesion from the group. That scares me a little bit. I'd like Towns to be more involved.
Yeah.
If you lose a game, 2 or 3 games in January, you can't hit the panic button.
No, relax, Knicks fans, relax. But I'll tell you this.
Take it easy.
I am not making a trade that includes OG Anunoby or Josh Hart.
Correct.
I'm not doing it. You saw last night, OG had an amazing game. When he's out, and a lot of those losses was when he was out, it's a different team. I don't care. I don't care who they're putting up there. I don't care if it's Shea Gilgeous. I don't care. OJ's too valuable.
I completely agree with you. I think the best case scenario for the Knicks over these next 2 weeks would be Giannis doesn't get traded anywhere. So that means you can have a shot at him over the summer if you want. You have your 2 first-round picks, and you go get Jose Alvarado from the New Orleans Pelicans. I think the Knicks need a point guard who can bring defense.
I agree.
He can bring toughness. He can bring energy.
Yeah.
He's from New York. He's scrappy.
Yeah.
You watch that guy play. He is a menace. He kind of reminds me of Josh Hart in many ways. That would short up, and then I would like to get a backup 5 because if you're not going to have Mitchell Robinson every night, if Towns isn't going to be great playing defense in the 5 position, I think you need to upgrade Huck Porty. So I would like a backup 1 on the backup 5. Giannis doesn't get moved anywhere. We talk about it over the summer.
And I don't want Jrue Holiday. I don't want his money.
No.
I don't want his contract. I don't want him. You don't need him. I like this team the way it is.
Right.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, changes and non-changes, okay? Some teams change everything. Some teams don't. Do you know where I'm going with this? Where am I going with this? Major League Baseball. Mets.
I thought we were talking basketball for a second.
We're done with the whole.
Okay, let's talk
we're
baseball.
keeping the Greek freak in Milwaukee, and now we're going to go baseball. We don't have a little time left. Two different directions for the Mets and Yankees. All right? Mets, they blew it up. Now, granted, didn't make the playoffs. David Stern's been wanting to do this forever. They blew it up. Alonso, south. Nimmo, where did they go? South. All right? Then who's the other one? McNeil, west.
Yeah.
Get him out. Throw him out.
Yep.
We don't want him.
Diaz,
well, he kind of left. I don't think they wanted to throw him out. They were actually trying to hold on to him. But, that last storm we had with
I
the
think
big
that's
wins,
the biggest regret for the Mets.
he flew out to L.A.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like Stern's like, don't go. But the other side of town, in the Bronx, our friend Brian Cashman says, we got the best team in baseball. Really, Brian? Toronto kicked your ass the whole time. I don't care. Disregard that. We're the best team. We're doing nothing. We're going to bring back a 36-year-old pitcher who's coming off Tommy John, and he's going to be the difference. You know who I'm talking about, Garrett Cole. All right, let's calm down, guys. Let's calm down. I'm not sure which one's the right direction. Maybe for those particular teams, it's the right direction. Number one, did you agree with everything David Stearns did?
I agreed with some of it. I thought Bichette was a great move. For me, that's the one move I think got away from the Yankees. Bichette would have brought great balance to the lineup in terms of being more of a contact hitter, playing a position of need and third base, which the Mets are going to have Bichette play.
Yes.
And he's a righty. Right now, the Yankees have 6 lefties and 3 righties going into this year. I thought that was a good signing. They gave up a lot for Peralta and what was the other pitcher's name that they got from the Brewers?
I like Tobias Merritt.
Tobias.
I like that. That's a good move. Look, they gave up. I don't know if they gave up a lot. All right.
They have to extend Peralta. Well, that's a lot for 1 year for Peralta.
But don't worry. He's got money. If he wants to extend
True.
they could extend him. That whole extension BS. Sproat, back end, best.
Right.
Probably the bullpen guy. And you could see it. Third inning, he's, I can't throw anymore. We have enough of those
Gassed.
guys. And the other guy, Jet Williams, he's about 4'2".
You have a shortstop.
We have a second baseman.
Right.
We don't a 4'2" ball player we don't need. So I'm not really big on either one of those guys gone. You had to get a top of the line top.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, it's going to be like when they made the trade for the Brewers and Tyrone Taylor. Nobody knew who he was.
Yep.
Guess what? We now know who he is. He's not a starter, but he's a really good player. And that's what Mize is going to be. He's going to be in the bullpen. He's going to be like, wow, where did they get this guy? Because no one ever remembers trades. Everybody's so stupid, they don't pay attention. But I'm telling you right now, he might make that trade.
That Mets lineup is definitely deeper. I think if you go back a couple months, I think Mets should have paid those couple extra dollars for Diaz.
Yeah,
and I personally think they should have kept Alonso as well.
Oh, please stop it, Alonso.
Because
everyone loves Alonso. Look, I like Pete. Pete's a nice guy. He's fat. He's jolly. He hits a bunch of home runs.
Right.
And everyone loves him. The truth of the matter is they don't win with Pete. This was
I don't know where you're getting 40 home runs to hit behind Alonso from.
You don't need him. First of all, you're going to get 40 home runs from Soto. He will do it even with who's hitting. With the shed hitting behind him, he will. The right way to win is guys who continually hit and make contact. That team went so many times with, hey, look at them. They put 7 runs in the first inning. They haven't hit again since Tuesday. And that's what happens. There's 2 all or nothing. And Pete and Nimmo, I mean, the collapse a few years ago when they went to Atlanta and got swept, when they got beat up in the playoffs by San Diego.
It became tired.
It's old. It's tired. Yes, he hits a home run. Yes, he hits a lot of things. Yes, he gives money to the That's great. Get him out of here. You need a new blood. I have no problem. But every Met fan, they fall in love with these guys. They don't win, but they love these guys.
Right. Okay, wait. We've got 2 minutes here. We got to talk Yanks.
Right. Well, go ahead. We got 2 minutes here. Yankees. I will yield to you.
For the Yankees, I think 2 things can be true at once. You can have a great team, and getting beat the way that they got beat by Toronto isn't a fluke. You know, Toronto took it to the Yankees.
So I was thinking to the Dodgers.
And I think Cashman, in some ways, is right to tell the fans, hey, we're a lot better than you're giving us credit for. This was a team post-trade deadline that was very good. This is a team that's also getting Garrett Cole back. We'll have a full year of Cam Schlittler. You're bringing Bellinger back. You're shoring up your defense. Devin Williams blew a zillion games for the Yankees last year. David Bednar was good. These are all true. And the Yankees will be good. I'm expecting them to win over 90 games. But don't tell me last year's ALDS was a fluke, because they didn't feel close, and that still, to me, feels like they need to play a little bit more of a consistent brand of baseball to be winning and doing the things that require winning ball games day in and day out. And I'm not sure if this team is totally built that way, but I think this team is a contender. It will be really good, but I'm not sure if it's that much better than last year. And we saw Toronto get better. We saw Toronto get better. We saw Baltimore get better. We saw Boston get better. You know, I would have liked the Yankees to get one more move, especially in the bullpen as well.
All right. Well, you heard it here. Obviously, you can tell the man works with the Yankees, so he's very close with them.
Do you think this team's going to be good? This team's going to be good.
We have literally 10 seconds left.
Though.
10 seconds left. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
And again, tell everybody real fast where they can see your work.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at AlexDay7. We're talking Yankees, Giants, Rangers, Knicks daily. Got a lot of interviews coming up. I'll be in San Francisco next week for the Super Bowl, so a lot of interviews with favorite NFL stars as well.
Sure.
Got it done there and with the time crunch.
Very good. Thank you.